And I'm so proud that we are now in government. We've got a huge amount of work to do to rebuild our economy, to ensure there's proper growth, to invest in housing where families are really suffering in our community. We need to make sure that we are able to identify the areas where we can continue to make improvements. Okay, Assalamu alaikum. Well, thank you all very much for your support. I am so proud to be re-elected, and I'm so proud that we are now in government. It's a long time that we've been in opposition, for 14 years, and people have suffered all over our community, of all backgrounds and across our country. And Britain's role in the world and stature in the world has declined because of the failures of the Conservative governments. So we've got a huge amount of work to do to rebuild our economy, to ensure there's proper growth, to invest in housing where families are really suffering in our community, where to make sure children get the education they deserve, to make sure we tackle child poverty, which has hit us the hardest, to make sure we improve our health service, to improve the security that we have through better policing, and make sure that we invest in early years and childcare and the things that really help families and mothers. And finally, of course, making sure that we rebuild and reunite our country, because we have seen so much division over the last 14 years, and we need to change that. And that's what we will all work hard to do. But we need to do that with you, with communities, with different groups in our society, between government and society and other sectors, the public sector, the private sector. If we want to rebuild our economy, we all have to work together, because Britain has fallen behind in the last 14 years. It's been left behind and we are suffering, whether it's because of inflation, where families can't afford to put food on the table, or because of housing costs, where they can't afford to pay their rent or pay their mortgages. There are so many challenges. It didn't have to be like this. So it's going to be a big effort, and it cannot be done by government ministers and governments alone. It has to be in partnership with everybody. We have got so much to do. Amra community, amra একটা proud tradition আছে, যেনে আমরা সব সময় আমরা community কিভাবে আগিয়ে যেতাম। আমার parents generation, আমরা forefather যারা এই দেশে settle হয়েছে, তারা gradually, incrementally জেলা পারছেন, improve করছেন, engage করছেন mainstream লোকে, even at a time when they were in a tiny minority and they didn't have the power and the influence and the connections that British Bangladeshis now have. So it's really important to engage with the new government, and I hope that I can help make sure that happens, working with my colleagues who are British Bangladeshi, and I hope that we can all work together to make sure that the Labour Party and this new Labour government, the government that we will have the privilege to be able to form and serve in, I hope, in different ways, that we deepen and strengthen our partnership with the community, but not just our own community, but the British wider community, and the many other communities that represent my wonderful constituency. And finally, I just want to say that we also need to make sure that we are able to identify the areas where we can continue to make improvements locally, and where we work together to bring resources into our area. That's what I did while my party was in opposition, trying to influence the government of the day, because regardless of who's in power, you've got to keep trying. I hope that we have a good chance of being able to attract more investment, although money is very tight, because the Conservatives crashed the economy and damaged our society deeply. I hope that I can use my position, working with other colleagues, to bring more support and more help in areas like Tower Hamlets because we've suffered so much. But I will need everybody to pull together in our community. One person can't do it alone. We all have to pull together. We have to make sure that we seek to connect and work in unity. Doesn't mean you have to agree on everything, but we have to make sure that when we say we want the good of our community, we act in good faith. When we say we want peace, we act peacefully, because if we can't act peacefully together in a peaceful country, then how can we work to achieve peace in other troubled parts of the world? So I hope that we can all do that. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum. Right.